when you first wake up out of the deep sleep, um, shake off the spell that we've been under, and you're awake. You have this overwhelming desire to just learn everything you can. It's like it's like a drug addiction of not, but you want knowledge instead of drugs. You just search everything, read everything, get your hands on. I think, and that's a characteristic, a solid characteristic for being awake or a person awakening. Um, there's certain things are that happen with every person when you that so-called wakes up. Um, the crave for knowledge is one of the biggest traits. Once you wake up, it's like, tell me everything. So this is one of the first books, the Celestine Prophecy. Sorry, translation. Um, this is the first one, and there's the 10th insight and the 12th insight. Um, the the very first one, this book right here, this is one of the very first for me that showed me what about like beyond the veil energies, everything having its own consciousness and being awake, and the transfer of energy between beings is the major thing that's going on. When you boil it down to it, it's all transfer of energy. So, um, and this shows you a lot about that. So on this video, I'm going to go ahead and go through the insights. There's, like I said, there's 12 of them. I'm just going to read through them, and I don't want to spoil the story or anything like that, but just to um, give anyone interested a kind of a ground view of what the backbone of this series of fiction is, because the books are a parable, just like the Bible. There's deeper meaning there that you take away, and it's actually just trying to get this information across to a person is what the whole story is. Um, so the first insight is a new spiritual awakening is occurring in human culture. All awakening brought about by a critical mass of individuals who experience their lives as a spiritual unfolding, a journey in which we are led forward by mysterious coincidences. Noticing synchronicity. Synchronicity is the entry point, the measure of whether we're connected spiritually. These meaningful coincidences are tiny miracles steering us toward the good life. They're always seeking first to awaken us and then to allow us to be guided by a spiritual connection to the unfolding of our intended destiny. Staying in a state of alert expectation concerning the major questions of our lives or the help we need increases the frequency of synchronicity answers or synchronistic answers. The secret is remembering first thing in the morning to watch for these magical synchronistic moments. Early in the morning, I mean, for me personally, I have a lot of synchronicities, and I can pinpoint them. There's numbers that I can that are the same in certain events, like 313 for me, 36, 1111 is another one. When I see these things, those are synchronicities to me. I know that I'm where I need to be on the path, doing the thing that I'm at the correct moment in time. I'm synced up when I start seeing the 313, 13. 13 for me is a big number. I was born on the 13th. Um, my birth certificate, despite what my mom says, sorry mom, says I was born at 1 p.m., which is the 13th hour. She says I was born at 11 a.m., but the birth certificate says different, 1 p.m. So on the 13th day at the 13th hour, I was born. But um, where was I going with that? Anyway, so synchronicity is, I guess, it's a very individual thing. Um, some people have just like coincidences in their life, and they're like, oh well, yeah, that's kind of strange, that's kind of odd, and they don't even think about it anymore. They just go on about their business. Oh, what a coincidence. Well, yeah, those are guide markers and guide stones and things that you should be paying attention to what's going on in that moment when you have those synchronicities, because they could be a warning. Um, I just ignored a big synchronicity not long ago, and it cost me dearly. I mean, it was, if I would have listened, if I would have been listening and been in harmony and in tune when the synchronicity happened, because it was like blatant in my face, hey, stop, warning, and I just kept going. And if I would have been listening, I, it would have, my life would have been way different, altered. Um, a very bad thing could have been avoided. So synchronicities are very important. Once you start getting a lot of them, that means you're doing right. You're on the right track. So the second insight, just a second. Okay, longer now. The awakening represents the creation of a new, more complete worldview which replaces a 500-year-old preoccupation with secular survival and comfort. While this technological preoccupation was an important step, our awakening to life's coincidences is opening us up to the real the real purpose of human life on this planet and the real nature of our universe. The world has a spiritual design. Yes, it does. The step in consciousness happens when we look back on the spiritual journey of humanity throughout history. We see that we are in a new phase of human progress. Humanity, oh, yes, we are. Humanity is now awakening from a materialistic worldview and moving into a new outlook that recognizes spiritual design. The design rewards an attitude of helping others and making the world better. When we adopt this new world perspective, our soul's dream of our mission comes to us, and we move toward this destiny by a near miraculous intuition of synchronistic flow. Thus, we are learning to make our way in the world by finding the spiritual connection and allowing ourselves to be guided. In this way, we're discovering a more detailed understanding of how the world genuinely works together. With this insight, we can shape another historical era of inspirational life for generations to come. So, yes, it's a spiritual design. There's no getting around that. And science is finally catching up with this, because you can't separate science from spirituality. It's no way possible to do that, because it's tied in together. You can't just like throw the baby out with the bathwater, or you can't deny the spirituality. You just can't do it. And atheists are I'm gonna curse. I was gonna curse there, but um, they're not right in their views. I don't think any truly smart man denies God. Because once you are intelligent enough to start seeing how things are built, it's done with intelligent design. I mean, it's coded and it's 100% designed. And you know who did that? That separates off into beliefs, and I'm not going to get into beliefs right now. So, spiritual design, most certainly. Third insight, a matter of energy. We now experience that we live not in a material universe, but in a universe of dynamic energy. Everything extant is a field of sacred energy that we can sense and intuit. Moreover, we humans can project our energy by focusing our attention in the desired direction. Where attention goes, energy flows, influencing other energy systems and increasing the pace and coincidences in our lives. Giving the karmic design. Giving is the karmic design. Giver, not a taker, a mover and a shaker. We integrate the third insight when we realize the universe is not a dead, uncaring place. It is an energetically connected environment that is spiritually constructed to bring our greatest dreams into fruition. All we have to do is align ourselves with the universe's ruling principle, giving. Well, this is very true. Servitude is the true way because it's a humbling thing, and once you realize we're all connected and love is light, then giving makes you feel better than taking. You'd rather have the feeling of giving than the whatever it is that you're taking. So karma, though, is a whole different ballgame because a giving person um, is always going to stock up good karma. If they're as long as it's a person not giving shit. If they're giving shit, then there's probably be some bad karma. But that's so anyway, karma on the wheel. If you, I believe if you pick up a homeless guy and take him home and feed him lunch, buy him a bottle of wine, drop him back off on the corner, you're building up karmic energy, and I believe you can stock that up, or just doing the right thing in the right situation and doing it for the right reasons. Karma is definitely a big thing. It's the amount and brightness of your light. Good karma strengthens your light and makes your light um, visible and healing. Hang on just a second. I'm going to have to plug this in.